Hello, hello. Let's make myself bigger like that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to, let me lower the music a little bit. There we go. Let's swap out the music for something a bit more chill. Hello, everyone. My name's Kevin Lewis. I'm a developer advocate here at GitHub, and this is my very first Rubber Duck Thursdays. We're going to build some cool stuff, kind of on the fly, nice laid back stream for about an hour. We'll see how it goes. I'm tuning in today I'm broadcasting today from Berlin. So let me know in the chat, folks, where are you tuning in from today? I'm going to be taking a look at the chat throughout, and then we'll have a go at building something in not that much time. We'll see how successful we are. Just going to set expectations quite low, and then we can exceed the expectations, But we're going to be building a fun little party game today. Hello, the person behind Best Codes joining in from the USA. But yeah, let me know where you're joining from today. While you let me know where it is you are based in the world, I'm going to actually just introduce you to the little project we're going to work on. Normally we do a little bit more. I've had a watch of my friends and colleagues running these streams, and there's a little bit more leading in, but we've got an hour, right? And I want to build something great in that time, so we'll see how we're doing. Hey, lots of folks from the US joining us. That's awesome. Hello. Let's see if this little screen share works. What do we reckon? That worked all right. It is a completely blank VS Code, so I see that it's shared correctly, even if there's absolutely nothing in it at all. Folks from India, hello. Just in case you are tuning in and you're like, that isn't what someone said here in the chat, we are currently simultaneously streaming to LinkedIn, to Twitch, and to YouTube. I get to see the lovely comments that you are all leaving on all three platforms, and so I will be kind of talking, I suppose, and responding to folks tuning in on different platforms. Why not build something serious? You know what? Because where I'm at in the world, it's 8 p.m. on a Thursday, and 8 p.m. on a Thursday is time to build something fun. That's my answer to that. Folks tuning in from the UK, you can probably hear that is where I am from, even if I'm currently in Berlin. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be building today. We are going to be building a party game. So if you're not familiar with the concept of a party game, these are generally more like low stress, less strategic social games that you can play with friends, perhaps at a party, right? And that's the idea behind these. You may have played games like, I don't know, Werewolf or Mafia before, social deception games like that. They are also party games. We're going to be building one today based on on trying to convince your friends to do silly things, and trying to be the first person to get folks to do 3 or more. It will make more sense as we're going along, but I have a kind of good image on how this is going to shape up into a cute little web client to facilitate this game. Here we have VS Code. Let me just pull open kind of my panes here. We're gonna have a go using Copilot agent mode to make the most of this hour. And so far, I literally just have a single empty index.html file. So I think what we'll do is we'll dive straight in. I think we're gonna get something okay pretty quickly, and then we're gonna try and do better than okay, right? We're gonna try and do the absolute most we can in the about an hour we have. Hello, folks in the chat. Wow, it's amazing to see so many of you tuning in from Bangladesh, from Brazil, India, the US, the UK, Germany, where I am. This is wonderful. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much for entrusting me and us with your time for this hour. All right, so how is this going to shake out? We're going to have a web client, probably on a phone, realistically. So we really care about it being kind of looking good on a mobile. And that web client will load in 6 random challenges from a list. Challenges, I have pre-generated the challenges. Things such as have a player teach you to handshake, or get someone to tell you what their name means, or have a player explain their ideal birthday cake. What else have we got here? have someone demonstrate their best robot voice. I don't know how we're going to get people to do that, but that's beyond the scope of this one, I think. So I've got this big JSON array. We'll do something with that later, like 200 challenges, but we'll load in 6 of them, and players will get to, I suppose, check them off if they're completed. Let's start there. Let's just start there. And then we'll also need some mechanism, I suppose, to persist the game state between refreshes. So probably just using local storage or something like that. Let's get this started. In terms of like web frameworks, I like Vue.js. This is, just a cute little project. So I suppose we'll load it straight in from the CDN. So let's tell Copilot agent mode here to go ahead and do that. Include Vue.js from a CDN. Let's see what it does here. But yeah, I think this might be a fun little project. So let's see what we can do here. That's a web page. Yeah, cool. With access to the CDN, great, fantastic. Yeah. I suppose let's actually go ahead and make that, let's call them challenges. And we've got this missions array. Yeah, you know what? We don't need to do anything fancy here. I think we are literally just going to include the whole file. That feels legit, right? Challenges.js. Yeah, no point over engineering this. Cool. Then I think what we'll do is load it in index.html. I don't know. Do I even need to specify that? Let's give it more context is always better. Let's go ahead in index.html, load in the array from challenges.js, and on load, select 6 at random and display them on the page. Let's just get straight to it. Let's see what's going to happen here. Yeah, while we're waiting for agent mode to do its thing, I'd be really curious to know what are you building at the moment, right? What projects are you building? They can be side projects, fun little throwaway things. It could be things you're building to learn. It could be more serious things. It could be work. Exercise caution in sharing that, of course, in public chats. But yeah, I'd be really interested in knowing what it is you are building at the moment. Okay. Yeah, this looks legit enough. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll just say take CSS into its own file, because I noticed there was quite a lot of styling stuff here, and I just kind of want to get that out the way. Too many side projects. Yeah, I mean, all right, don't we all? But which best codes? Tell us about the many side projects in their various states of completion. Fun making tic-tac-toe in the terminal. Very nice. What were you using to build that? Rusty TUI networking. Thing with the chat is a little bit small here. With Ratatouille. Yeah, cool. Building an app to walk through cycle routes, showing both a map and street view and automatically walking through. Love that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, this for me, I suppose, is my little side project at the moment in terms of code. I'm what else have I got? I have my little demo, which is like a board game stats app, which I've been enjoying adding some features to recently. Let's keep taking a look. Yeah, tic-tac-toe CLI. It's pretty nice. Let's just assume this all worked for a moment. And let's open this in the simple browser. How am I going to do this? Let's have a think. Oh gosh, have I forgotten how this works? I just kind of want to open this index.html file. Have I forgotten how to do this? Open automatically on server start. Sure. can I just go like npx http server doc? Well, the fact that that auto filled for me is telling me that that's probably legit. Of course, this is the moment the doorbell goes. They can come back later. Let's see a little bit more from the chat. I'm trying to build a stack analyzer bot using an agentic approach and using patterns to detect the market. Can you give any insights? Given I've done none of those things before, I think you might be asking the wrong person, but tell me more about it. Like, I'm not entirely following what this means. Let's continue on. I'd love to see a project that uses the camera IRL to actually make maps based on what the lens sees. So like it takes a snapshot of the area and goes, I know where that is, and then goes from there. Yeah. I've also been working on Discord bots and Discord JS frameworks. Oh, that was a previous life for me, by the way. And yes, Godspeed. I found this a super big challenge, but have built Discord bots before. Right, let's go for simple browser. Fantastic. Okie dokie. We could probably close the terminal for a moment. Is this hot reloading? I have a feeling like it's not going to. What is the GitHub duck called? I do not know the answer, right? There are 3 cute characters. There's Mona, of course, the Octocat. There's Copilot, our AI companion here, and the rubber duck. Maybe one of the hubbers watching will have further thoughts about this. I do not know if it has a name. Hello, Andrea. Thank you so much for dropping by. All right. So here we are. We have challenges. Great. There's 6 of them. Every time we reload, though, they refresh. So this isn't ideal. I think the first, what should we tackle first? I think the first state we probably want to handle is making sure that these persist. So like we have 6, they get loaded into local storage. In fact, as I'm thinking through this, let's actually just take this moment to be typing what we're thinking here. So when the browser, on first load, generate new challenges and store them in local storage. If they already exist, load them in instead of generating new ones. Add a button to get 6 new challenges. Oh yeah, well there's this button here, right? But yeah, which will change what's stored in local storage. Yeah, that feels adequate. Let's see what happens here while we take a look. Alrighty, that was our problem with adding sizes of buildings and more stuff in the right place. That makes total sense. His name is Quack. Lol, JK. Okay, that was an emotional roller coaster of learning what this duck was called and then having that knowledge ripped away from me as swiftly. Session local storage, question mark. Don't get what the question is, so I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let's take a look at what Copilot is kind of telling us the key changes were. So there's a new load challenges method called on mounted. It checks local storage for existing challenges and then falls back to generating new ones if they don't exist or the parsing fails. Fantastic. Then we've updated the get new challenges method, which now calls the generate new challenges. This makes total sense. And then now there's this new method which will contain the original logic. Great. And then saves new challenges to local storage using the key RDT, Rubber Duck Thursday, party challenges. How it works. First visit, no challenges and changes in challenges in local storage. Generate 6 new ones, store them. Subsequent visit, load them, generate new ones, generate 6 new ones, updates them, and then error handling. Okay, well, I am cautiously optimistic here. Now, another moment here is to see whether this, I don't need to, you said hot reloading earlier, but it's not, I think what I meant, I don't want to have to restart this server every time. Oh, do I have to constantly be putting this back in? Okay, so get new challenges. Get a new player to show you their best dinosaur impression. Refresh, refresh, refresh. That's storing. Great. Refresh. Fabulous. This is great. This is getting getting a little bit further along. Okay, what's the next thing we want to do here? You know, I am. This is fantastic. I love that we're getting this built so quickly. I might jump in and write some code in a moment because I'm feeling the itch, right? But this is all looking pretty solid. I think this .random challenges JSON path stored. Just checking. Does it? Oh, so it gets it sorts it randomly and then gives a slice. This is really nice because it means we won't get dupes, because that was the other thing I was thinking of. I don't want duplicated challenges, but that won't happen. So that's pretty nice. Okie dokie. What's important next? The next important thing is to be able to mark a challenge as completed. So we need to add a button next to each challenge to mark it as completed. Get someone to show you their keys. That, by the way, through the context, I'm writing a talk that I'm giving at a conference next week, and I just finished the slide talking about like secret push protection. So it's also quite funny. Getting someone to show you their physical keys, yes, but in the context of writing code could be a huge problem. We need to add a button next to each challenge and mark it as completed. Make sure to store the a challenge, I suppose, starts uncompleted. Is that the opposite of completed? Uncompleted? Incompleted? No, it is uncompleted. Make sure to store this in local storage 2. All right, let's see what happens. Alrighty. Okay. Now it's adding the button. This is going, it's 18 past the hour. This is going significantly better than I had anticipated by this point. Maybe I'll eat those words. But I think we're about to have something remarkably workable, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's take a little look at the changes here. Challenges are now objects with text and completed properties instead of just strings. Yep, each challenge starts with a completed force. Fantastic. We added a mark complete button next to each challenge. The button text changes to check complete when marked as completed. Button styling changes to gray when completed. Visual feedback, yeah, fine. We'll just look at that visually in a moment. Local storage integration. Completion status is saved to local storage, which makes sense because it's now an object. When loading challenges from local storage, completion states are preserved. When new save challenges method centralizes the local storage saving. Save challenges. Oh, is it? Oh, there we are. Save challenges. Yeah, cool. All right. Let's keep those changes. Let's try this out again. Okay. Well, that's a problem. Okay, cool. So there was a problem there. And the problem was the challenge text is no longer rendered on the page. It's just a button. All right. Let's take a look at the chat here. Cool. Has anyone been using Copilot recently? How have you found it? What have you been building with it? And in fact, I'm gonna qualify that a little harder. What silly things have you been building? You know, doesn't have to be all serious. The vibe code troubles have begun. Well, I'm still vibing here, you know. I'm still vibing. This is all good. I'm feeling good about it. The cool thing is, right, I think as a developer, I can like read it, I can understand it, I could step in and fix it, but because I can articulate the problem, I can pop it over to Copilot. Maybe don't press keep until you view the results in the browser. Yeah, I realized that just now, but that's not a problem. Hello, Alexander from Germany. Hello. Alrighty. Fantastic. What was the visual changes? Because I'm not really seeing much other than the button. Strike through text, reduced opacity, grade. Okay. None of your visual feedback is actually being applied. Just the button text is changing. Let's see. Chris. Hello, Chris. Chris of Rubber Duck Thursday fame did one of our earlier streams today. I tuned in. It was excellent. Enjoying using the Copilot coding agent. Yeah, really wonderful. If you're not familiar with it, the recently released GitHub Copilot coding agent allows you to assign issues to Copilot, and then it will work in the background, spin up all the necessary resources, and then write code, open a pull request, right, with whatever was in the issue implemented. And then you can go ahead and step in and see all of the steps it took to generate that code. And you can also go and give feedback, and then it will kind of enter this loop of further development. Really, really nice. Super cool. And what's really nice is because it's asynchronous, you can spin up, you can assign Copilot to a ton of issues, and it can be running all of those simultaneously. Okay. There were duplicate challenge items rules in the CSS file. Okay, cool. I might just give that a quick refresh. Yeah, okay. Except the bit where it's still not happening. Can I open DevTools in this? Not really use this much. Just gonna click around. Oh, that's a nice little. Oh, that's cool. Add element to chat. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, thanks, Chris, for answering questions on YouTube. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Selecting element. That's cool. Element screenshot. Oh, and then the selector as well. That is cool. I love that. I'm going to be a bit chatty. Yeah, so there still isn't any styling changes here. There are still duplicate CSS rules. You can do it. You can do it. I have high faith. Let's close that terminal there. Give ourselves a bit more. Let's visually give ourselves a bit of breathing room here. Okie dokie, still working. It turns out I am eating my words, where I'm like, wow, this is going so amazingly with no problems whatsoever. And here we are 5 minutes on with the problems. Okay, Copilot's gonna do its thing here. Sure. You know what? Let's just throw some important in the rules there. And you know what? In the real, I'd probably provide some kind of guidance. Provide like a prompt file or Copilot instruction. Say, hey, we super don't love doing that. For this little throwaway fun project, I feel totally fine about it. Okay, what is going on? Am I missing something? Is it... What? Hang on, let me hit keep for a moment. I'm just wondering, is there something weird about when the files are saving? No. Is there something weird about restarting the server? I'm trying to understand what the problem is, right? Yeah, Let's take a look at the styles.css here. Let's also take a look at the index.html. We'll pop them side by side. We'll close Copilot for a moment. We'll close the terminal for a moment. Let's just take a little look-see. Okay, I have this list item here. It has the challenge item class when the challenge is completed, it also gets a class of completed. What happens if you load it in an external browser? Do you want to know what? Is the style sheet imported properly? By the way, yes, otherwise there wouldn't be any styles, right? I'm only sharing the single window to stream here. But let's look, folks, it's the simple browser. Well, glad we didn't spend much more time on trying to debug styling because that's working fine. Wonder why that is. Is there maybe like a weird caching thing going on? I'm not going to sink too much time into this at this rate, but yeah, it looks totally fine. It has a nice mark complete button. It's green. I click it. The stylings are applied. Chris says, yeah, I've had similar before. And I ask, and did you overcome it? Or did you just have to preview in an external browser? Because that would, I can work it out. It's just not my preference, right? I like sharing the single. I've got this silly ultra wide monitor here. But let me have a quick think. I just use an external browser, lol. Yeah, thanks for nothing. I guess it's called simple for a reason. Yeah, can I do like a, right click, clear cache thing? Don't know. That's going to open it in an external browser. Is there like simple? I've got quite a few settings here. Is there like a simple browser? Yeah, it's just one. Focus lock indicator enabled. Okay. Well, that's clearly not what I want. I usually use Chromium Incognito to prevent caching. Yeah, no. I mean, I have an external browser, right? It was more just a comment on, do I have to work out sharing to Windows even? But yeah, we can do that. Let me just have a quick think about getting it sorted. We'll do that. Spend a couple of minutes now, and we'll get it all sorted. One moment, please. Okay. Mute that second tab. We'll present. We'll share a screen. Fantastic. We'll share a window. We'll share this. And then I should be able to go before preference screen, remove the other media streams from the stage. Okay. Sure. There we go. This will do. Bit more clunky, but we can make it work. But yeah, look at that. Mark complete. Looks good. And if I resize that, that's looking okay on mobile, right? That's looking fine. We're going to do a few things, I think, to make it a little more mobile friendly, like removing the numbers, for example. So let's, I don't want to have to remove, okay, we're doing it. We're doing this little dance here. That's fine. Alrighty, so I guess we're done with the simple browser for now then. Maybe it should pop some confetti. Yeah, hold that thought. Hold the line. We can do that. All right. I guess we don't really care about this at this point. We'll open Copilot back up. We'll go back to just having a single thing. Alrighty. So the first thing we've got here, I suppose, is we have the numbers on the side. So we're gonna, this has to look good on mobile. Can you remove the what would you call them? Numbers / counters to the left of each challenge? Can you also make the mark complete button just a check without words? I think that will give us a lot of like real estate to work with, right? What were the style changes? Oh, okay. Just a padding and a counter. Yeah, removing that. Cool. then I already have an idea on where we're going to go next with the game, because I think there's so much scope here, right? What we'll do next, I think, is have an ability to fail a challenge. So what I'm thinking is, if a player says, hey, is this part of that game? Then you lose the ability to be able to complete it, right? So that's what I'm thinking. So there is a way to fail if you're too pushy, right? So that makes it a little more social. Now, interesting. I'm reload. If I hit keep again, let me just see at what point. Yeah, interestingly, the local editor is still not quite. Yeah, social failing. It's still not quite doing what I'm expecting. I'll show you the little progress we've made. So this is how it looks. The buttons are smaller, and these go like this. However, that's not a check. I want it, but there's a check here, so we need to fix that. And I want the buttons gone entirely. So let's take a little look-see here. I'm gonna maybe up the font size one. I think it might be a little small for those of you tuning in on mobile, so I've made it a bit bigger. List style, none. Which is why I'm a little bit confused. Is there something weird with the caching of this page? Just have a quick thought. Just locally, I'm going to open up just index.html. It looks different. So there is something funky with this local browser thing, with this local server thing. There is also, let me open my status bar here. Do we have live share collaboration? Oh, what's it called? The server extension. What's it called? Can't quite. Live preview. Oh, so I have it. So actually, why was I using simple server when we have live preview start server? Yep. Okay, everyone. Fixed it. Let's close that again. Okay, I suppose we're back. We're back here again. Okie dokie. That's fine. And then it's, yeah, I think if we change something, like make it red, yeah, look, it's live updating too. That's super nice. Much, 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 much better. Turns out I just needed to actually use the tools available to me. All right, cool. So we've got this. They check. This is great. I still want it to be a check though. So I still, you know what? This might be one. This might be one, if I'm completely honest. Yeah, where I'm going to just step in. Yeah, because we just want the check no matter what. But all the other styling was good. There we go. It's looking good. Nice. And again, that state is persisted on refresh. That's lovely. Fantastic. At the core, I think we are good. So we can fail. Maybe let's do a thing where we say once the third item challenge is completed, provide a win page that tells the player to tell their friends that they won. You know, if we had a bit more time, we might do a thing where we have lobbies and you join in, right? And you have you join a certain game and you can push that message to all the clients. But with the time we have, I just didn't think that was necessarily gonna happen today. 0 out of 3 to win. Oh, that's nice. Oh, and because this is live update, hey, this is pretty sweet, you know, because whenever these files are changing, this is automatically refreshing now. Okay, live server, my bad. Lesson learned. Let me hide that status bar again. Still applying some edits. Yeah, honestly, makes it look like magic when that happens. Seriously, yeah, that was just a. I don't know. I've always just run the server from the terminal, so but I had the extension, so honestly, I must have just had a moment. Okay, 0-3 to win. Boom! Congratulations, you've completed the 3 challenges. You're a party game. You're the party game champion. Tell your friends that you won the party game. Play again. And was that just keep a note of the first challenge here. Have someone show you a photo on their phone. I just want to make sure the challenges get regenerated. Yeah, perfect. You could take it to another level further by using the Playwright MCP server so Copilot can see the changes made too. Yeah, could. That sounds great. And actually, being slightly sarcastic there because Chris and I work together. That sounds genuinely great. Because, yeah, right now, Copilot isn't necessarily aware of all of the changes that are happening. Right? It can't interact with the page itself to understand. It's looking abstractly at the code. For certainly more complex applications as well, that's fantastic. That's really good. You can have it click around, actually interact, type in inputs and stuff. Really nice. In the meantime, I can always give it a screenshot. You're right. And again, we had the... in this thing, please reopen the preview. Oh, but we had that little floating dialogue thing, which was pretty nice. I'm not going to make efforts to make it reappear right now. All right, so we have a win state. Let's keep that. Let's also add a button for a failed challenge. Once failed, I want it to be visually distinctive from the what would you call it? Success style. Maybe make it a light red question mark. Let's just see how it feels. How it feels once it's built. Allow the failed state for challenges with a red X button. So let's see it do its thing. Hey, this is pretty cool. I love that the browser's just refreshing as well as these changes are incrementally happening, right? Oh, your request failed. Please check your firewall rules and try it again. Well, if you can still hear me, nothing's changed in my network. So let's just hit try again. I'm also just cognizant of the fact it's now quite a big chat and there's quite a lot of context going into each message. So I may start a new session in a moment if it continues to complain, but I think it will be okay. We'll see. Hello from India. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. And someone saw earlier joined us from Uruguay. Also, hello. All right, we're getting closer there. It's positioned correctly. We now need it to look correct. And then for some of the logic to be updated. Let's start digging into what it's been doing. Ooh, or not. Or we won't do that. That's also fine. Okay, this is looking great. Wow. Let's look at the fail state. Oh, that's good. I like that. Still undo either one. It's good. Look at that. Oh, that's awesome. And that state, I'm hoping, is also persisted. Love. Love, love, love. That is awesome. Okay. So let's just, we'll just do a little thing here where I just want the order of the two of them to be different, but I'm just gonna do that manually, I think. Let's just move this button. I like it that way around. And then what we'll do, I think, is can you add an end game fail state when there are no longer enough challenges to complete that allow the user to get to 3. Very wordy way of saying that, but I think it will get what I want, which is, if they're all X'd out, and then, you cannot get 3. Let's just tell the player they've been knocked out. Okay, it's still working. Still working. I'll let it do its thing. Could it look nice if both buttons are grey when either has been clicked? Yeah, love that. You know what? I wonder. No, you know what? I'll ask Copilot to do it. This is one of those things where it's like, do I want to work out how to do it, or do I just want to express the desired outcome? Okay, so let's. So we've no, game over. Not enough remaining to try again. I think we need a like a fail-safe there. Is this just HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript? It's Vue.js loaded in from a CDN, but it is one index.html page, one challenges.js file, which I generated ahead of this stream, and just a separate style sheet, just because this file was starting to get pretty big. But that's it. Yeah, really straightforward for this one. Okay. On the fail and win pages, let's add a how do I say this? Like a go back to game or undo last win fail in case a button was accidentally pressed, because that would suck. I accidentally hit no, like fail, and now I can't go back. And then when I hit try again, the whole game reloads, right? That would be just a sucky interaction. So yeah, let's try and get it to mitigate that. And actually, we're doing pretty okay on time. I actually think this is like a real workable game. Like that's cool. Yeah. Chris and Best Codes, thank you so much for the assist in the question there. But where is it? Here it is. The very first thing we asked Copilot to do was just go grab Vue.js from a CDN, and then it boilerplated the page. It was just an empty index.html file, and we went from there. So we have this undo last action. Then we'll make the button gray. And then I think we're in a pretty good state. I will take suggestions for other quick things we might be able to do with this game. But I think that's compelling, right? This is now a complete. It would, once we've implemented this undo, we've done this little stylistic change. This is a pretty fleshed out game. Like it works. So yeah, I welcome input on things that we can realistically achieve in like 10 minutes. Again, what I maybe wanted to do if we had a bit longer was build this as like an express app and have lobbies, and you join a game, and we can push signals to each page. Okay, Best Code. See what Copilot thinks would be a cringe challenge for a human. You know what? No, but maybe we just ask Copilot for some suggestions on quick things, so you spark something there. All right, we have this last action is clear when starting a new game, fresh game. Okay, let's just try it. So we have undo last action. Awesome. Wow, great. Small style change when either button is pressed. Make sure both are grayed out. Yeah, super. And that's just going to be a tiny little thing, I think. Nice. Let's refresh, because I don't think. Oh. But it needs to be clear which one to press. So interesting. That's maybe interesting. Okay. Well, one, it's not actually done what I've wanted. You didn't do what I asked. Also, one thing at a time. But yeah, right now, if I press the check, I can't press the X anymore. And that isn't necessarily. There we go. That's better. It's a noticeably. Oh, it's a slight color difference. the buttons will maintain their disabled cursor. Yeah, about that. Can you allow either button? Right, yes, because when it's checked, okay, cool. Sorry, brain everywhere. So on success, can you make the challenge green so it's clear which state it's in? Then allow either button to be pressed to return it to a challenge, to like a completed force state. Lovely. Brain everywhere, Kevin. You know what? Yes. Like the brain's moving quicker than the mouth. So yeah, I needed to take a moment and just get the words out, right? Hey man, what would you name the rubber duck? Well, what did Andrea say earlier on? Was its name? And by answering the question, then went, just kidding. Let's take a look. Wow, there's so many people participating across the 3 chats on YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn. It's amazing to see. Well, thank you so much. His name is Quack. Lol. Just kidding. Quack's a nice name though. I like that. Yeah. Okay. No, okay, that's not quite what I was going for, but you know what? I mean, we could just continue. Hang on. I should be able to press either button when a challenge is failed to return it to its neutral state. Also, I want them gray whether completed or not. Let's see. Is it the new GitHub mascot? No one's told me that. No, this is Rubber Duck Thursdays. This is our trusty companion for this stream. Very much still Mona. Don't let her hear you. Mona's just a little. This frame is a little bit smaller. Here. Is that the way we want to move her? There she is. There we go. Okay. Good. All right, everyone. That's feeling pretty good. Yeah. And now I'm looking at it. This looks kind of off. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. You know what? Changed my mind. Changed my mind. Make the check still green in completed state and the X red on failed state. This just didn't feel right, you know? That'll just be a small thing. And then you know what? Nearing time pretty rapidly. Yeah, you know what that feels. I could still press either button just to get it into... Well, you know what we could do if you like mispressed? We can still, even from... Yeah, you know what? We'll make a... Let's make sure that's doing what I want. Yeah. In failed state, allow check to be pressed to take to success state and vice versa. So like if you misclick, right? That'll just allow you to quickly move between the 2 states. That feels pretty good. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the concept of a rubber duck to programmers is you'd have like, one of those little bath duckies and you pop it on your desk and it encourages you to talk through the problem as if it's a person. Because quite often when you start to talk through a problem and break it down, you find the solution. So that's kind of the context behind that. Okay. Boom. Look at that. Now I can move between the 2 states. I can click it to, No, that's wrong because it's fail. Click it, it goes to... that's not quite right. In failed success state, press it. Let me just make sure that is... Yeah. Because it's cycling right now. I don't want it to cycle. It's currently cycling between fail, success, neutral when pressing a button. Pressing the respective button should take it always to neutral. Pressing the other button should invert the state. I am worrying that the way I'm writing it is like needlessly complex, but we'll see if it can get it. If not, we're gonna start being a lot more direct about what we're after, but we'll see. Yeah, the green background looks much better, right? It gives you the visual indication of, okay, these ones are still to get. The grayed out, the kind of a slightly less, slightly more opacity ones, they're done. They're either success or failure, and it's clear what they are. So I quite like that. Okay, good. Toggle, and then shift between the two. Awesome. Yes. There you go, and there's our folks. Freaking works. That's awesome. Oh, I'm so chuffed with that. Look at that. Like, I could actually see me like popping this somewhere and like telling my friends, here's a web page, like let's play this little social deception game, or not social deception game, this party game, as a way to fail. You know, you might want to add like a little you know what, add a rules button at the top and open a modal, I guess, when pressed. The rules are as follows. First player to 3 success wins. Complete the challenge. Text and then press check. If a player asks if your current conversation / I don't know, actions are part of the game, and they are, you fail the challenge and must press X. Okay. Public singing is a nightmare for me. Can't sing. Well, so here's the thing: get someone to sing part of a song. So if one of your other players had that, and they're trying to get you to do it, they're gonna fail. Or if they know you and they're pushing, you go, "Hey, is this part of the game?" Or they're just gonna have to target it at another player, right? If there's at least 3 people playing. I think we should have started with the rules. We did talk about them kind of up front and reveal them, you know, but here we are. Rules. Oh, it's still working. Yeah. Also making some of the rules up as we went, I guess. I'm hoping it's going to make this button not look terrible, or not, you know, have some custom styling, but we'll see that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're getting there. I'm really happy with that. Okay, oof, moving very quick there. Currently, obviously, a view bug because everything's showing at once. Still working though, so let me add CSS styling for the button and the modal. Groovy. What happens if... Oh, no, all right, hang on. Okay, it's still applying the edits. You know, you suspend your feedback till it's done. There you go. Whatever it did was sorted. And like, I don't love all of these rules, you know, like undo last action is not, it's not a rule, right? You don't need to describe it. Yeah, one of them isn't explained particularly well, but I can just fix that myself. Yeah, that will do. What's happening there? The positioning of this whole thing. I think it's because of the list. The whole modal is slightly off to the left. I think it's to do with the list padding, left padding. We're almost there. Okay. Did you fix it? Did you fix it? What's going on there? Don't love that. Take a little screenshot. Oh. You sure you fixed it? I don't know why I need to be sarcastic. Like, I didn't need to be sarcastic there. I could have just said, it's not working. But are you sure you fixed it? Anyway. Nah, there's still something a little bit up with that. But you know what? Not that bothered, as we're rapidly approaching time. But I'll have one more attempt, and if not, then that's a little something I can pick up after the stream. Let's just make sure here. The whole modal is still slightly too far to the left. It should be centered with equal padding on all sides. Maybe mobile issues. I mean, it shouldn't be there on mobile or otherwise. Oh, the content has a different left-right margins. Well, yeah, that'll do it, won't it? No, because that's top, bottom, left, right. It's adding. Oh, here we are. Yeah, the UL had a margin left. No, I don't know. That's okay. Once it works. Okay. You know what? I'm talking about as far as centering on mobile. Yeah, but the problem was there when it was much wider too. Look. It's still further to the left than it is to the right, but only by like 1 You know, not by very much at all. You know, there's little things we could do, like, you know, always making this header visible and only scrolling the content. But this is good. I'm feeling good about this, like functionally. No. But sorry, there was a question in the chat. I'm not sure if I addressed it afterwards. But yeah. See, it looks centered, but it was a tiny bit more on the left than it was on the right. But we're really nitpicking. I can go and continue nitpicking after this stream. But that brings us basically to the hour. This is my very first Rubber Duck Thursday. So I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in, participated in the chat. You made this a really lovely hour. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again. If not me, I'm sure one of my lovely fellow team members will be delighted to see you again in a future stream. And with that, I'm going to say bye for now. Wherever you are in the world, have a lovely day. And I said all of that, and then I can't find the thing we put on afterwards. What have we got here? We got this. All right, found it. Bye.